Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Girls Who Eat Intern-ing Motorsport. I'm Jamie, I'm your host, and today I'm joined by Jessica Brito. Welcome Jessica, thank you for joining me. Could you tell my listeners who you are and what your role is in motorsport?
So my name is Jessica Brito. I am currently working within the Wayne Taylor program here in GTB program, and that is an IMSA series, so sports endurance in Indianapolis.
Yes, because where are you originally from?
I'm from Chicago, but I study in the UK. So I study at Oxford Brookes University doing motorsport engineering, but I came back this year to the US to do my placement year.
Great, that's really nice. I mean, it's going back and forth,
Yeah.
studying in UK and then kind of going back home to make an internship.
Yep.
How does a race weekend look like for you? Like your standard race weekend?
So my role is engineering intern. So I just intern throughout all different departments in their engineering office, and we're all clumped in one singular office. So it's really easy for me to go between like different roles. But for a race weekend for me, I'm fairly new to it. So this will only be my third race coming up for Long Beach. And, I kind of just float between any of the engineering tasks. A lot of my job is not making this decision on the car that's going to go out, but record all the data that's going to come off the car. So that could be like, I don't know, like honestly, anything that we're seeing issues with the data, I'm going to take pictures or record it on our spreadsheets and then help them prepare for reports that we have with our partners. And if you're not doing that, which is running around across the paddock back and forth, I am sitting at the timing stand and I help do dead manning for the fueling, because in IMSA you have to have a dead man, which is somebody open and close the valve for when the gasoline goes out.
So you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good because everybody now gets to stay put in their seats, and then I become like the messenger, because if not, everybody would be shuffling around. But that also means that I have to know kind of where everyone is if somebody else actually needs to see them. So it's a lot of me having to remember stuff on the fly or having to run around really fast to go get information across.
I mean, that's what I know for myself. I'm accredited for my a race weekend is like hectic. I only cover the media part. I'm sitting at the media center, so I cannot imagine how stressful it would be for you running around to everybody.
I think my first race, I was really, really excited because it was going to be my first time back in the States. And I was going really optimistic into it, thinking like what could go wrong? And then like very quickly I learned like everything can go wrong. Like, oh my gosh, I need to like run. And then I felt like very overwhelmed quickly. But after that, I've learned a lot about myself of like what information I should take as seriously and what information is like not that serious and I shouldn't run around for it.
Yeah, I think with everything, I always say like you learn by doing. So you experience something and then you're like, I can do this better. I can do this like this or like that. So I think that would work for you as well. You also kind of work with drivers. Are there any driver interactions that you love and you can talk about?
Yeah. So I do interact with drivers. I don't on the race weekend itself. Like you won't hear me on the radio talking to them, but anything else that they like might need, like beverages or just any reassurance on rules, I usually communicate that to our engineers and then they'll tell them. You won't hear me ever speak to them, but I'm always presenting them information, even if they don't know if it's from me. So far, my drivers are very fortunate. I don't know about anybody else, but they're really, really nice. And they actually know my name and they know what I do. So we do interact I try to explain to them the data that I'm recording because they'll see me in the trailers doing it. But yeah, they're very amicable. They're very lovely. I don't have anything bad to say or anything else. Like, I don't know. They're pretty cool.
I always think it's funny if I hear stories from people. It was Kay like a couple of weeks ago. She was like, yeah, she obviously did like the writing stuff for Formula E. And then I think she was for another media outlet at an F1 race. And Sam Bird, who is a driver of Formula E, does also a little bit of like commentary with someone else. And because Katie obviously also was part of the WF1, FT1, people recognized her from this. And they wanted a picture with her. And not with Sam Bird, because like most Formula One fans wouldn't know who Sam Bird is. Sam was very funny about that. I met him in the Formula E paddock, and so I know it's like very Sam Birdish to do. So it was like a funny story. Do you have stories like that, like something funny or?
I mean, I've only like very recently met them or like interact with them. I think, well, my drivers like obviously they knew my name, which I was really surprised about because our team is fairly growing on the larger scale. But I'm only one of five girls or women. The other ones are been there in the industry a bit longer than me, but they are like always really nice about it. I've seen them make rice. I didn't know like that we cook on the trailers. So I saw them like I asked them. My only like weird thing was I asked them if they wash their rice. I don't know if you wash your rice. But in my culture we wash our rice. So then I was like trying to explain to them, are you guys gonna wash that? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just making sure. Like I was like, I didn't know if you're gonna wash your rice. I was like, and then I gave them like little facts. I was like, like that's really good for your hands and your hair, like rice water. And they were like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, yeah. And it just like came out of me. And I felt like that was so strange because obviously I was like measuring stuff and they were like, okay. And then I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm so weird for just mentioning like these rice bags. But I was just like, they were just cooking it because they needed like, it was part of like their protein setup. So it was just one of the only weird story I have with them. I try not to speak to them because I don't want to mess them up. Like they usually are really focused. And I mean, they already have like who they know who to get information from. So I'm not ever telling them anything dire.
I mean, it's not a strange facts around rice, though. I mean, I know I should wash my rice, but sometimes I can be gross. Like, I'm half Indonesian, so I actually should wash my rice, but sometimes I'm just like, yeah.
I think it's just force of habit.
Yeah,
I think that
I didn't really grow up like with my mother washing the rice, so it's just something I have learned from social media. Which was always funny because sometimes I ask this so random and it's not about motorsport. I saw like a TikTok about like cleaning your mirrors with like a piece of like paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you like sprayed it and then instead of like a towel, but just like a newspaper, that it will get your mirror very, very like shiny. And I didn't know that. So I asked my mom. She was like, yeah, I knew. Excuse me, why didn't you never told me?
Insider secret.
Where social media is good for everything. What is your favorite racing series?
So I've worked in Extreme-E a little bit, which is pretty cool. And then I've done NASCAR. And so now with endurance racing, I mean, they all have their perks. I feel like my experience within Extreme-E, which is now Extreme H, the locations were just like so, so beautiful. Like, obviously the terrain is different and stuff like that. NASCAR, I didn't go on track as much, but I think like just the American tradition of like seeing racing in that aspect was just like really eye-opening because it'd been some time since I'd been back in the States when I started working for them. IMSA is just like how much the fans get to interact with the drivers or just the sport itself for like a very low cost. It just makes sense to go to IMSA. I don't think I have a very favorite racing series. Honestly, I like pick a little bit of each one. Like endurance racing did something crazy with terrain like Extreme H did, but with just as much as like the fan traditions. Like you can't really make a tradition that could be brand new of NASCAR. I think that would be like the perfect combo. If Formula One haven't worked in yet, but I don't know. Obviously they're like a bigger name in Europe and now they're becoming like just the same as in the States. So I'm still trying to figure it out. I would say for now, just like a combo of the three I've worked in would be really cool, but I have no idea yet.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe in the future there's something.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, you know.
I mean, like the idea from Formula E, for example, is just like it's in its 11 years. So
yeah, same.
You never.
Yeah, like that.
Maybe you're the one. Maybe you're the one who is going to start that series. Are there any goals regarding your future in motorsport? Is there something you still want to do? Is there a specific job you want to do, for example?
Yeah. So since I'm still about to graduate and like transition into the sport, I've tried to. That's another reason why I've done a little bit of each series, trying to like grasp what I want to do. But I think my biggest understanding right now is there's like so many job roles. Like each time I like get mentorship or like I speak to a different person from a different industry, they're like, oh, I used to have this job. And I'm like, oh, well, what was that job? Like, what do you even do doing that? And so there's like so much more that I want to do. Very much, I think, was conditioned or like seen only social media, like aero, performance, systems, and then just mechanics. I think not to like downplay their roles, but I feel our strategy as well, like they're not the only ones. There's so many other subcategories as well. And I think recently, like going a bit more in depth in arrows and like kind of do CFD and analytical like databases was really cool when I saw a bit worked in NASCAR, and then like I can't even say the word reliability, like yeah, that type of engineering
Yeah.
was like really cool to kind of see how they've incorporated it more into like F1's data pulling from that. I don't know what my goals would be. I want to work in this series and like in the sport continuing forward, but I mean there's so much more to learn, and I mean I've only learned all of these new jobs in the span of like 8 months, so I can only imagine how much more I'll learn while I continue there. So that'll be really cool.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's always, and now with social media, you also see like more options. I think that's the good thing. People always forget there's so much roles in motorsport in general, and I see a lot of girls on social media speaking about wanting to work in motorsport, and then only in F1. I'm like, yeah, but there's so many series. I
Yeah.
mean, I was the same. Like, it's not like I have done the same. Like, it was like, oh, I want to work in F1, and then now I'm like, are so many series which are also very good to like want to work in or something like that. People just forget that there's so much more. And also in F1, there are so many options. It's not only like the
Yeah.
teams. I think a lot of people only think, oh, you can work for the teams in F1. But then, I mean, we also have Pirelli, which is an option. And then all the sponsors is an option.
Yeah.
There's so much to choose, which is always like, I think it's good for the sport, like with more eyes that people like see are like figuring out that there are more options. I always hope that people are going to expand their like
Yeah.
ideas from, yeah, I want to work in F1, like maybe I will also want to work in endurance or I don't know, MotoGP or
And you can also do contracting roles as well. Like they're very flexible. I met a few mechanics who do like IndyCar, but also do sports endurance, or if they're not doing that, they're doing WEC.
yeah.
And then just like balancing forth. And I mean, they're traveling all across, but if not, like in either job, they can always settle in a specific role if they like. So there's like so many ways that you can not only stay in one if you'd like, you can also be like subcontracted for engineering. I've seen it a few times where you just come for specific races. I mean, there's like so many possibilities.
Yeah, I know that like I need to remember her name. Lizzie Brooks, who does works for Maserati and Formula E, but also for Yota and REC. I mean, the drivers can do it. I wouldn't people in like the same series.
Yeah.
It's always funny because and I realized like Nominator, for example, I saw Yota in REC, and then for Nissan in Formula E, and Lizzie Brooks for Yota and REC, and then for Maserati in Formula E, which is quite funny. I was like, my question in my head is like, are you talking about Formula E as well? Like, you're not in the same team. Don't let something slip, or maybe they don't. We don't know, but there's always I see that with the Formula E drivers that they like do both. There are only 16 races in Formula E, actually 8 in WEC. So actually only one clashed. So still, if they want to do it, I'm not one in the car, so they have to step in that car. What is the best advice you have ever gotten?
I ponder a bit on this question. I didn't get it on the job, but I've always been like kind of told that about it. I think I got it from my mom, but she has no race experience. Like I don't come from racing family at all. I think like the biggest like thing that sometimes you don't remember when you're in the sport or once you're like kind of grasping into the door is like you can't like really take it for granted. Like there's a lot of times, at least because I'm an intern, I do like the small itty bitty work. Like I am like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing ever, and it will be like stripping the car apart. Like they're gonna be like obviously some people don't like it because they've been doing it for years, but I'm like, God, this is the coolest thing ever. And then they're like, Jess, like it's not. I'm like, I know, but to me it is. And so I kind of always go on like the advice that my mom told me, like there is people begging for your job. Like there is people out there like dying to have their CV looked at. So I don't like try to take my even if like at the lowest of lows, I'm like, somebody out there would be like they'd be so happy to be yelled at right now. So like I think that's like the biggest thing for me. I always try to be very grateful for where I am, or like that the teams like take me where they do take me. Um because there's still people. I would still say that I'm still trying to get into the door, because I mean I'm still an intern, but I mean just me being an intern is like a huge step compared to some other people. And so I don't want to take it for granted, and I want to make sure that I did a good enough job that the next person that gets hired as an intern, like they like will think, oh yeah, well, like having an intern is useful, and like it'll start like a little chain reaction.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes some like the this season was my first season, and for me, like for my own like a platform when I was accredited, and London was for me like it is my first interviews and that kind of stuff. I had so much imposter syndrome. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing here? Like I shouldn't be here. Like that's kind of feeling I had. But then there's so many people who want to be there. I cannot be there. Like I had to really tell myself in the evening, like, Jamie, you belong here. Just keep going.
Yeah.
But that is something you need to remind yourself, because you will forget if you're like in the moment. So yeah, I fully agree with your mother. I mean, normally moms are mostly right. I wanted to say they are always right, but that's mostly right.
Mostly.
Is there someone you look up to, and if so, why and who is it?
I mean, I would say I look up to like the mentors that got me here, my day ones, but I don't know. I think all of them had like their own perks and like teachings and lessons that I took, but I don't have like a specific idol. I think it's kind of like a lame excuse, but I would morph everybody's that I've like has mentored me. They've all been like so straightforward, but I don't think I have a specific idol, because at least in my suit, like I don't think I see people like from my background in there. Like I don't have anybody to idolize. I come from a very like small. My family comes from Ecuador, and nobody like is Ecuadorian. At least from my suit, that came from like my background of like the countryside, or doesn't come from like racing family, and then is also like a girl. So then I'm like, dang, I really got to be that first one then. So I think it's like me trying to figure out just like kind of finding space for myself, as you like mentioned before. So at the moment, I don't think I have like, oh my gosh, this person's so cool. Like there are so many people in the industry right now that I would say like, I guess you could say that were my idols, that like take their platform and communicate like there's so many other roles, or like make space for like the other girlies. Like I guess those are my idols, but like obviously there's so many far and few, or if there is, like they're all in like one specific series. So I don't know. I'm just trying to like, shout out to all the ones before me and the girls after me. Those are my idols.
Yeah, I agree. Even though like I'm Dutch, I'm half Dutch or Indonesian, it's always very hard to like see someone like yourself. And then also the people who are Dutch in the motorsport, I sometimes think like just help the Dutch people a little bit. But I also understand why they do. They are like, no, you have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
I think it's also like not to be rude about Dutch people, but it's also a little bit the mentality here sometimes. Like, I had it hard, you should have the same experience. Whilst I'm like, okay, I want to give people opportunities. That's why I opened my team up, and why I also like try to get some of them accredited so they can join me. Like, I'm like, I want to help you guys. Like, we should help each other. Definitely.
I think that's like very common. I think there's times even like that I've experienced where people are like, just don't worry about them. And I'm like, no, like they just want some questions, or they just have like stuff to say. I'll listen to them, but they're like, you can't do that for everybody. And I'm like, yeah, but like I can at least do it now. They won't feel as bad if I can't do it in the future. Like it's not that like I just lend an extra 2 seconds, just hear somebody out, do like, just try to go the upper hand or do like the extra mile.
Yeah,
But
you never know what like that 2 seconds extra speaking
yeah,
with them can do
so
for them. I remember that Red Bull did like a woman with International Women's Day. I think it was 2 years ago. Kind of webinar. It got me so motivated. I was like, because I felt like I'm out of all sides. They were like, "No, just you're still great. Keep going. There's no reason why it wouldn't work out for you." And I was like, yeah, okay. Really needed to hear that. And those like those words meant at that point a lot, because I was like, I don't know if I should keep going. And that's for everybody. You never know what someone needs to hear to continue their like the path towards motorsport. So yeah, like if I can do things for other people now, good things will come back to you. Like that's what I always think. Like I believe in karma, which always sounds fairly bad, but you have good and bad karma. Like if you treat people like you want to be treated, it will come back to you. So that's always what I think about those things. If I'm nice, someone will be nice to me, hopefully. Are there any tips you can give to people if they want to do what you are doing right now?
The like most useful thing that it kind of goes on to what you were saying. Definitely like don't give up on like trying to find roles or stuff. And my experience for my current job, I think I bothered my boss for like a year. I have no memory of how I got his email. I think he might have been doing a webinar or like some sort, or maybe I was able to find it on their website. But I've like looked at the email strand from like when I did it, and so I started in the end of 2023. Being like, hey, are you looking for interns for like the upcoming summer? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. I think he like wrote no, but like try again, like in a very polite way. Like in the summer, maybe we'll find like something else. And so then like I think I had it scheduled like on the first day of summer, of like the end of summer, being like, how about now? And he was like, no. He was like, how about you wait until the end of like the end of 2024? He's like, maybe in the new year I'll have something. And at the time they didn't know they were increasing their car program. So then on like January 1st at midnight, I sent like scheduled the email being like, hey, can I come now? And I was like, actually, yeah, like he's like, email me in 3 months. Like we're like expanding our car program. Like maybe you could join. And I was like, okay. So then like 3 months later, I literally had it scheduled on the first again of March. And then I was like, and he was like, what? Like he's like, okay, like he's like, honestly, we can't take you as an intern for the summer because the summer is too short. Like you won't learn anything in 3 months. And he's like, and then like we won't like learn anything from you in 3 months. He's like, can you like stay for a year? Or, like, can you take a break or like come around like throughout college? And I was like, well, college was in the UK, so not really, but I could take a placement year. And so then he was like, and I was like, that's a year long. And he was like, yeah, that actually would like really work for us. And then you can come and travel with us. And I was like, really? Travel? Okay, like let me tell my school. And so then I told my school and they were like, we usually don't let people go back internationally. But since you're already American and you already are from there, like you're very local, like it's fine. And they signed their forms and like went back and forth. And then I started in October. So I did like my General Motors internship and then I went straight into this job. And so it worked out perfectly. But yeah, don't give up emailing. And if you're like the most annoying person ever, because I was definitely the most annoying person in his inbox.
The most annoying person.
But I mean,
I'm the same. Like, if I want someone, for example, on the podcast, I'm emailing. Like, I'm reaching out so many times. Like, I had James 2 weeks ago. And we have been back and forth for like a year. So it's like, I want you on this podcast, so I will keep going until if they happen, like if they say no, that's fine. I will just not bother them anymore. But like we were like, it's almost a year, so definitely just, and also do follow-ups always. It's so important. You never know. Sometimes it just gets in someone's like trash, and if you then just try to like email again, sometimes helps. So yeah, that's also, I start my emails always like, I know I said so many times on this podcast, like there's a Dutch saying like, nee heb je, ja kun je krijgen, which like means like you always have that no, but it can turn into a yes. So just ask. You never know the answer, and that's something I always say. Like just, you never know. Just try. Sometimes it will bring good things. So be that annoying person.
Yeah, it got me this job, so maybe I can get you the same one.
Do you have any questions for me? I always ask my guests that because I'm like, sometimes people want to know something about me.
Oh my gosh, I love asking everybody questions. I always go up to everybody at my job and I'm like, what do you do? What are you doing today? Like, Jess, you know what I do and you know what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, but I want to hear from you. Let me think. What do you have any like developing projects that you want to like get started on, or any collabs that you're looking forward to?
I actually just wait. I can show you. I had like so kind of merged. I have a girl who also going to do the photography on if we're trackside, and she like designed something. It was for a t-shirt at first, but I'm like a tote bag kind of girl, so I was like, I want to give my girl something because everything is voluntarily based, and some of the girls are coming to Monaco when I'm also in Monaco, so I was like, okay, I'll make a tote bag. I will show you.
By myself on the podcast. Let's see. Oh,
So
that's so cute.
this is like the front, and then
Hey.
like this is the back.
I like it. That's very
I'm going
cute.
to sell this as well because everybody thought it's so kind of cute. So I was asking on our stories, like, is someone interested? Because obviously I'm not going to sell it if nobody's going to buy it. So that's just something we are expanding. Probably also going to go for like MotoGP because we already do like all kind of single seaters and like WEC, but my group is expanding, so we can now add also MotoGP.
Girl drivers,
So
if you want to interview. I know somebody who does not MotoGP. Well, kind of. MotoGP is like motorcycles, right?
yeah,
I know motorcycle. I know a motorcyclist. And I don't know what series she's in, but I can forward you her contact too. She's
yes.
pretty dope. I think she's like in the women's series of like MotoGP. I know she's in the UK though in June or July. And she's pretty cool. There's like since I've transitioned back to the States, I feel like when I left 3, 4 years ago, there was like no, at least groups for me, no like groups that I could like click with, or I couldn't find them. And I'm like really good at Googling. So I was like, it's like a lot's changed in 3 or 4 years, or like there's so many like now there's like WIMNA and there's like smaller like groups that have started in the UK that have transitioned to the US as well. So yeah, now I know like other like carter drivers or female cart drivers and like cyclists and then actual drivers in like single seaters. I think it's like really cool. But yeah, I'll try to send her over her information because I met her at the women event and there were a lot of drivers there. And she was like super nice. She was telling me that there's like she was excited to go to the internationally, but especially to the UK. And I was like, dude, I go there. Let me pop over and be like, hey, because there's no other Americans that are going to be at her race. So I was like, I'll be American.
Yeah, it's so funny because I have girls who are watching it, but because I was also doing it in myself, like for a period of time, and like I've one of two of three, and then like Family and Rack, I can do that by myself. That's kind of doable. And I also didn't want to give the girls too much to do at first because they asked about MotoGP, and now we have like enough people to like expand a little bit. Because I was like, yeah, let's just do the things we are doing right now first and like good, and then if there are like more people, we can like add stuff to like a portfolio, which we are probably going to do maybe this weekend already because I believe there's MotoGP. So yeah, little by little, like I started the podcast in 23? Yeah, 23. I'm always like, is it 22 or 23? But it's the 23. Like, we have done the podcast first, like with Instagram and like TikTok, and then added the website with articles right now. I have really nice girls, to be fair. They're great. They take initiatives. And I was like, but overwork yourself. Remember, this like I am not paying you, so I don't want you to worry too much about me. Like, do what you can do, and it will be great. To be fair, and I'll post this on LinkedIn. I'm very proud of the team for the last like month with F1 coming back, and then also like FTF and F2 starting again. Then every IndyCar starting, like everything starts around the same time. So I'm very proud of them. How it's going.
It seems like a crazy workload. I see like the media people running around back and forth. I mean, we have our designated media people, but then I'm like, ooh, because I'll be like seeing them like try to get pictures or like try to stress and get the information out before everybody else because I'll be there like our reps. And so I'm like, girl, you gotta post that right now before somebody beats you to it.
Yeah, that's true. So I was like, yeah, let's just focus on like 4 wheels first, and then can anything if you have like more people. So I have like 14 girls at the moment, and I think they like it, but I'm like really proud of them. I say it's not perfect yet, which is absolutely fine. It can only get better. So
Yeah.
That's how I understand this. Like, nothing's perfect in the beginning. That would be horrible, because then there's nothing to learn or get better. And there's always something to learn in the end, even if it's like a little bit more than you already knew. And you already learned something. And I learn from them. I think that is the greatest thing. You learn from everybody. Everybody you learn a little bit. Like, I think I learn a lot from just being like trackside 3 times, because like only go to the European races from Formula E. I don't have the money to fly to around the world, but I think I learned a lot in those like races, and I met people. It's always nice to know people and don't be alone in the media center, not knowing everybody, because it's very intimidating. So yeah. Any other questions?
Actually, this is like maybe a question for the audience. Does anybody know, or this has like been on my mind, and it's not like it's kind of a media question, but it's also like a camera work question. Do you know like when the camera gets dirty on a drone and or like on the car and then like it wipes off? Like like you see it in F1 where like the car camera and like is like dirty and then you see it like clean like itself off.
I didn't.
What is that? It is throwing me off so badly. I don't know if it's like an attachment on the car or like if it's not like on like the front where they tear off in front of the screen. It's like on the actual camera. Like you'll see it like if I don't know, somebody pull up the tapes of where like you'll see like the rain on it and then you'll see it like swipe itself off and then it's like crystal clear again. And I don't know what it is and I don't know who to ask the question to. I'm like I've been like dying to know.
I will post this on TikTok, and who knows,
Okay.
someone will actually have an answer for this.
I bet you like it'll be like the simplest answer either. But it's
Probably.
not like somebody like hitting it with microfiber. It's like it's genuinely like the camera itself. Like I don't know if it's like has a little wipey feature. I don't know what it is.
It
I've seen it on
probably
drones and
has.
I've seen it on like but like what is it? Like somebody like take a picture of it and like post it. Like I need to see like what does this look like and how's it doing it? Because it's like throwing me off because I've seen it on drones and I've seen it on the F1 car footage as well. So I'm like who's doing it? Is it like how does this mechanism work? And didn't know who to ask this question to. Like I thought about asking it to my media person, but I'm like none of our stuff is on drones. It's like literally handhelds and like an IMSA. I've always see like the people just wiping it with microfibers or like camera lenses. So I'm like, dang, one of these days I'm gonna get the answer.
Who knows? I will definitely put this on TikTok, and maybe someone knows the answer. I don't. I have no clue. I think it is like, I think we think too difficult, and it's very simple.
Yeah,
Probably.
I know. I've like definitely like came up with my head of what I think it looks like, but I know it's like probably way easier. It's just like the thing vibrating or like
Yeah,
moving by
or
itself.
like just turning. I guess that's would be my thought.
Yeah, but I
That's
want to
how
see
it.
it in the works. Like I want to see how it does it. Like somebody get a view of it doing it.
Who knows? No. Always the things you think is very difficult are mostly have like a simple answer. I
I know.
learned it's like, oh, but actually it's quite simple. Yeah. Sometimes I think too difficult as well. It's like just sometimes like, I don't want to say it's like a women's thing, but maybe it is. So if someone else, if maybe a man is listening to this podcast, if you are also doing it, let us know, please, because for me now, I have heard only women say it. So, but yeah, I don't have any questions. I think maybe I can come up with some. Is there any race you really, really want to like work at or like just visit?
Our team is going to Le Mans this year, so we're sending our car. I will be on it. I'm the intern. There's a lot of people that are not. Like I'm at the bottom of the list of somebody to be sending to France. But I think that would be really cool. I've heard the race is like super intense, and a lot of our team members who are going have been multiple times, and they always say like each time is a bit different, but like at least it's like the storm is coming, so it's exciting. And we'll in our team we're working it back to back, so we'll be doing I think Detroit, Le Mans, and then Watkins Glen. So it's like really interesting working within a team and how they're going to like do back to backs. It's giving F1 vibes of them going back to back on weekends in different sides of the world. It's giving that, but like only the team members. And I like do like a lot of their organizing and like reports and stuff. So it's like interesting how we're going to divide the card team ready to go send that, but also have it ready here and just prepare with the team members and see what information we're going to give them like straight off the plane so that they can come back here and like do the next race. But that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I remember stories coming out that people didn't, like with F1, people didn't know where they were anymore because of so many time differences. It's such
Yeah.
a sort of a short time. Like, I can say I never like flown it long enough to like have a jet lag, so I'm pretty lucky in that. But I can imagine working with a jet lag and then
Yeah.
waking up in a hotel and not remembering which country and city you are in. I would be scared. Like, yeah, am I in Las Vegas or am I in Brazil? That's crazy. But I hope your team doesn't that will not, probably have not that issue to worry about.
Yeah, I don't anticipate it. They seem like pros. Like they've been, most of them have been before, so
Yeah.
I'm not too worried on that front. But we'll see. It'll be really exciting though. And I mean, I'll be cheering them on once they get off the plane.
I remember like the last 2 years, I'm really watching Lamar. Like last year, I was like, I'm going to watch this whole thing, and then it started raining,
Yeah.
and then I was just watching safety cars. A safety cars. And then at some point there was like a dog running around. It's like, if someone lost their dog, can someone come and get it, please? Because we don't want it to die or injured. Or when there's some broadcast, I think the Italian or the Spanish one, which was quite funny. Like with them singing. I think I have to look for it. I cannot show you the footage right now, but I will send you it. That was quite funny. But people get like sleep deprived, and then
Yeah.
instead of like being uh, like high on like weed or like drunk because of the alcohol, you're still like kind of in the same space as that, but you haven't something in your system. I always feel like if I'm getting sleep deprived, I feel like I had a night out, which most of the time I obviously didn't. But then at some point it was still raining and they just still didn't start. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to sleep until like an hour before the race ends. So that's what I did. Yeah. I can't be bothered to watch this full right now at this point. I only saw safety cars. And then I remembered that they had to refuel the safety cars. One safety car because, they had to like change safety car. It was kind of funny. For me, I was like, I wanted to sleep. At some point, I was like, yeah, no, maybe they're going to start again. And then it was at some point, it was like, good morning. I was like, no, I'm really going to sleep right now because they will not race until like 2 or 3 hours. Then I will just, then maybe I probably missed something, but I gave up. And then will not try again this year to reach a full 24 hours. I probably will sleep some in the night. Depending, by the way, my sleep schedule, because Australia and China just ruined my schedule. Like, I was, not yesterday, but like Sunday, I was like so up in like 5. And I hadn't sleep tonight. I was like, sorry, but I'm going to skip the race because I cannot sleep. I cannot watch without sleep. So I missed the race. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't be bothered. So I have no clue what happened in the race. I still have to see the highlights. I said this before in like episodes. I have like a love-hate relationship with F1. Like, it's where the love for motorsport started. But sometimes I really cannot be bothered to like watch live because I'm just not feeling it. From Lee, I'm always on it. I haven't skipped a race. Even like when I was at Spa 24 Hours last season, Portland from Formula E was, and I was watching Formula E on the Grand in Spa. So it was quite funny because, I couldn't hear anything because I didn't have like earphones. So I could hear like the cars, like the normal cars, and then I was watching electric cars, which was quite funny. I still had sound, but not the sound from Formula E. But yeah, so I think we're coming to an end of this week's episode. I want to thank you for being here and for joining me last minute. It was great speaking with you. And for my listeners, if you didn't follow us already on our socials, in the description of this week's episode you will find the link with all of the socials and the WhatsApp groups for the Formula races, European races. And thank you for listening. And I will see you next time with other amazing guests.